Good morning, afternoon, and or evening. My name is Derek, Professor Silly, and welcome to my series focused on the history of heavy metal music. I will be listening to a selection of albums in chronological release date order and giving my honest reactions, opinions, and then rating the album. As we move through this history, it's inevitable that we will disagree on what is and isn't metal. My personal bias would put Iron Maiden as the group that personifies classic metal, for example. A lot of the early Journey will include albums I don't personally consider to be metal. My approach then is to allow any album that someone has made a published case or argument to be important to metal. It can be a published article, list, or book. Full disclosure, in my younger years, I was a metalhead. I played in a metal band from the ages of 15 until 18 in biker bars with older musicians. And I'm very familiar with a number of the albums that we'll be revisiting. Still, there's a lot of albums on my list that I've never heard. I've heard of, but never listened to. In the interest of keeping this as fair use, I'll be commenting during the music without pausing. In order to make sure we don't run afoul of copyright issues. I'm not wanting to pause the music, but rather will be commenting as I feel inspired to do so. I'm also dubious of only hearing things once, so I will be listening to this album right now and giving my initial reactions, and then for a full week while at the gym, going on walks, etc., so that by the time I'm deciding to rate the album, I've got some experience with it before I fully rate it. Finally, if there's a heavy metal album that is your particular favorite, let me know in the comments. If it's not on my list, and I haven't already passed the release date in my journey, I'll happily add it and do what I'm doing here. My list has over 100 albums on it, but it could always use a few more. Now, that brings us to this week. Led Zeppelin 4. I had no intention of doing this album originally, but I came across a Screen Rant article that was listing their top 10 most important albums to metal from the 1970s, and thus we've added it. The album was recorded between December and February of 1970 and 1971, so before last week's Black Sabbath Master of Reality, but it was released after. It was released November 8th, 1971. I've definitely heard this album all the way through at least twice. I'm very familiar with some of the tracks on this album. In fact, I think my favorite Led Zeppelin song is on this album. It's not Stairway to Heaven. We'll just put that out there right away. So this is not a blind reaction. I'm pretty familiar with it. So yeah, let's get into it. I've never listened to this on headphones, so I can already know that.
Hey, mama said the way you move gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove. The way you shake that thing gonna make you burn, gonna make you stay. Hey, baby,
Yeah.
when you walk that
This is my
way,
favorite
watch
Led
how
Zeppelin
that
song.
breath can't keep away. Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Why is this my favorite? Bottom.
Lights that shine, burning red, dreams of you all through my head.
tried doing this song in karaoke once. Weird interval there. From Jimmy Page. Yeah. Still my favorite. Give it a pause. We'll fade out. I didn't, it's not the worst thing I've ever done for karaoke. Not the worst idea I've ever had, but ooh, yeah, tough. That's not my range. The drumming is, and the weird rhythm that the guitar and bass are doing during the section where Bonham's just keeping just that straight, simple beat. It's complex. My brain can't fully wrap around it in terms of actual counting. Right, next track, rock and roll. Everybody's familiar with this one. Certainly. Iconic intro. No Drumio's done videos on it. Awesome tone. That's a little bit. Drumming's amazing. All the tones are great. As I mentioned earlier, like, we're not all going to agree on what's metal and what's not metal. This is not metal to me. This is just rock and roll. Just as the song title suggests. It's not too far removed from, like, Chuck Berry and all that stuff. Yeah, even the solos, distinctly not metal. Got the keyboard, piano. Very Jerry Lee Lewis. Where's Jerry Lewis? You know what I'm talking about. That bass tone. Right. Rock and roll. The bass player for Led Zeppelin, John Paul Jones, is one of 3 bass players that I hold in incredibly high regard of being like the foundation of technically proficient, amazing bass players, along with John Entwistle. Those are the 2 I'll just stick with for right now, where my mind doesn't always comprehend what it is they're doing. Their bass playing is so far beyond where I ever got, that they're like mystical beings to me, basically. We haven't heard too much from him yet. The first track, he's playing along with guitar, and it's a crazy complex rhythm. Here, it's nothing complex about this particular song, but God, his tone is so thick and bottom heavy, just the way I like bass tone. Right, this next track, Battle of Evermore. I don't know how many times I've heard this from Led Zeppelin. Not many. I might have heard the Heart cover that was on the single soundtrack in the early '90s more. Never really caught me, but I've never listened to it on headphones either. So let's see if it sounds better to me on headphones. Ooh. Ooh. What's that? Dun dun. I'm not sure if that was a second instrument.
Took her bow, and then she turned to go. The Prince of Peace embraced the gloom and walked the night alone. Dancing in the dark and night, sing to the Lord. The Dark Lord rides in force tonight, and time will tell us all.
That's not playing. Right? That's the second vocalist.
I hear voices thunder down in the eastern glow. The apples of the valley, oh, the seeds of happiness. Ground is rich from tender
Yeah,
care.
Sandy Denny.
Repay, do not forget. No, no, dance in the dark night. Sing to the morning light. Clouds turn to brown and black. The tyrant's
Okay.
face is red. War is the common cry. Pick up your swords and the sky is filled with good and bad. Mortals never know.
I've always just assumed it was Robert Plant just recorded two different tracks, harmonizing with himself.
Beats of time pass slow. Tired eyes on the sunrise, waiting for the eastern glow. The pain of war cannot exceed the woe of aftermath. The drums will shake, the castle wall, the ring razor out in black. Ride on, raise your right on. Shoot straight to them before. No comfort has the fire at night that lights the face so cold. Dance in the dark of night. Sing till the morning light.
I like her voice too, a lot.
To bring the balance back, bring it back.
The mandolin really gives it a folksy,
At last the sun is shining, the clouds are blue or white.
frolicking through the Shire
Flames
feel.
from the dragon of darkness, the sunlight blinds his
I like that. Jimmy Page's playing there almost reminds me a little bit of what was happening like with Terry Riley, for whom Bob O'Reilly is partly in for doing a minimalist mid to late 20th century compositions. Obviously, Terry Riley's a huge influence on Pete Townsend. Wouldn't be at all surprised to find out that he was an inspiration for this as well. Okay. So yeah, part of what I always thought was really impressive about the Heart performance was that they had two vocalists so that they could get that overlapping effect. I didn't realize that that's actually how the original is. I mean, I knew there was overlapping, but I just thought that was studio trickery. But no, there's a second vocalist in there, so that's I find that pretty enjoyable. I mean, I'm not generally a fan of folk music. More often than not, the more folky something is, the more I'm just like, ugh. There's enough interesting things happening there to keep my attention. Part of what I don't like about folk music is it just seems so antiquated and stale. So in order for folk to really catch me, there has to be something going on there that perks my attention. I said at the beginning that we wouldn't all agree on what's metal, what's not metal. I mean, Black Dog's got some metal-ish elements to it, but yeah, the last two tracks, not so much, not so much. But we got Stairway to Heaven. Obviously, I'm super familiar with this. I'm perhaps more familiar with Frank Zappa covering this song in the late 80s live, where some of the guitar parts toward the end were covered by a horn section. And I almost certainly that will be invoked into my head at the end. I'll hear how Zappa ended the song because I just have heard that so many more times. All right, let's do it. I may have covered this in a band when I was 18. I only was in that band for one performance, and I was hired to do that one performance. We may have done this. I had to learn all of the songs in like a couple weeks. We did Mississippi Queen. I think this was one of them. They were also the musicians that turned me on to Primus.
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven. When she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed, with a word she can get.
I had more than a couple weeks to learn all those songs because we rehearsed. Maybe in a couple months.
And she's buying a stairway to heaven. There's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure, 'cause you know some
Got those flutes.
words have two meanings. In a tree by the brook, there's a songbird who sings. Sometimes all of our thoughts are misgiven.
Ooh, nice picking.
It makes me wonder.
John Paul Jones playing a keyboard there.
Makes me wonder.
Sounds like it.
There's a feeling I get when I look to the west, and my spirit is crying for leaving. In my thoughts I have seen rings of smoke through the trees, and the voices of those who stand looking. Ooh, it makes me wonder.
I've never noticed that keyboard part, how simple it is, but effective.
And it's whispered that soon, if we all call the tune, then the piper will lead us to reason. And a new day will dawn for those who stand long, and the forests will echo with laughter.
As a as a bass player, I'll get back to that idea.
Don't be alone now. It's just a sprinkling for the May Queen. Yes, there are two paths you can go by, but in the
I love that he's using arpeggios. That makes it way more interesting than it could otherwise be. Now that's bass.
and it makes me wonder.
Boo-da-boo, boo-da-boo. Yeah.
Your head is humming and it won't go. In case you don't know,
It's got a nice. It builds nicely and organically.
Dear lady, can you hear the wind blow? And did you know your stairway lies on the whispering wind?
It's a really good solo.
As we wind on down the road, our shadows taller than our soul. There walks a lady we all know.
So, as a bass player,
Shines bright light and wants
I
to
got
shine.
pretty proficient over the years getting into jazz and avant-garde music and stuff until I broke a finger, my ring finger on my left.
If you listen very hard,
Yeah, that's what it should look like. This one's broken right at the tip. And so I've been intending to learn the keyboards. John Paul Jones is a good inspiration for that. Not play bass on that. Do bass on synth. It works. I can still play bass. I just can't play bass like I used to. It's just sad. Frustrating.
and she's buying a stairway to heaven.
Right, so not my thing. Not the style of stuff I'm generally into. For the longest time, I didn't know that I cared for Led Zeppelin at all. I always, for all of my metal years, and for many years after that, I thought Led Zeppelin was terribly, terribly overrated. I got the first Led Zeppelin album, and it was like, one of the people I worked with within the tattoo industry loaned me How the West Was Won. I believe that was the DVD collection. And seeing live performances, I'm like, okay, now I get it. It was realizing what John Bonham was doing behind everything that really was like, okay, I get it now. And then Led Zeppelin 2 was one of the albums that the band I played in the early 2000s, the lead guitar player slash sax slash vocalist insisted that I get Led Zeppelin 2. And Led Zeppelin 2 I really quite like. I wouldn't consider it metal, but it's really great. Stairway to Heaven is the side of Led Zeppelin that I just don't care for as much. It's a brilliant song. I can see why everybody else loves it that do. It's just not my cup of tea. There's some brilliant stuff happening in it though. It's not like I would turn it off. I don't hate it, but it's like I mean, compared to other stuff, compared to Black Dog, I mean, it's not heavy enough for me. What's next? Misty Mountain Hop. I don't know. We got Misty Mountain Hop, 4 Sticks, Going to California When the Levee Breaks. I've heard of Going to California. I'm sure I've heard everything at least once through. I first heard this when I was still in high school. One of my friends got it and put it on, but I was getting into Motley Crue at the time. I was like, "Ew, this isn't as cool as Motley Crue." I was young. I was dumb. We'll get to Motley Crue later. When the Levee Breaks, I know that's one like the drummers kind of freak out about. I think I watched on Drumeo somebody trying to like learn that really, really quick. But Misty Mountain Hop, I'm not sure if I would recognize this just if it was playing in the wild. Let's hit it. Oh, I've heard this. Okay, yeah. Yeah. I like this song a lot. A lot. You will notice probably a little hiccup in that one where like I had to notification come through my phone into my headphones. It changed the volume crazy. And so I brought it back a little bit. I just blended them together. Hopefully I did that well enough. So that distracted me then from the end of it because I was trying to see if there was I had a setting where notifications were allowed to come through my headphones from my phone into my computer. It looks like it should be turned off. I don't know why it did that. But I don't want to start the entire song and do the entire song over. So that's why I did it the way I did it. That song's super, super familiar. I've definitely heard that. It's very distinct. I like the groove of it. Not my favorite. It's not my least favorite. It's a thing. All right. Next is Four Sticks. I don't know what this is. So let's see what it is. Okay. I was about to say this song sounds a little bit like filler. Yeah, it's kind of filler, isn't it? It's hard for me to imagine this is anybody's favorite. Not bad, it's just... Maybe I'll feel differently after I listen to it 3 more times. feels not fully baked. Huh. When I say not fully baked, I mean that insofar as it feels like an idea that wasn't brought fully to fruition. Could have used more time in the oven to become something more complete. Going to California. I'm pretty sure this is going to be really familiar. Yeah.
Spend my days with a woman unkind, smoke my stuff and drink all my wine. Made up my mind, make a new start, going to California with an aching in my heart. Someone told me there's a girl out there with love in her eyes and flowers in her hair.
Roll my eyes at that. At the delivery. That guitar reminds me of Neil Young.
Took my chances on a big jet plane. Never let them tell you that we're all the same. Oh, the sea was red and the sky was gray. I wondered how tomorrow could ever follow today. Mountains in the canyon start to tremble and shake. The children of the sun begin to wake. Watch out.
Watch out.
Seems that the
Tell me to watch out.
God's got a punch on the nose and it's starting to flow. I think I might be sinking. Throw me a line if I reach it in time. I'll meet you up there and the path runs straight ahead. Find a queen without a king. They say she plays guitar and cries and sings. La la la.
La la la.
Ride a white mare in the footsteps of dawn, trying to find a woman who's never, never, never been born. Standing on the hill in the mountain of dreams, telling myself it's not as hard as it seems.
It's the dissonance of what sounds like Old Man. Old Man certainly came out after this, right? Yeah, 72. Let me see here. So that was recorded in February of 71, so independent. So it was recorded, no? Yeah, so it was recorded after this is recorded, but before it was released. So contemporary. Contemporaneous contemporaneously. You know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, reminds me of the guitar from Neil Young, who was in California. So I don't know. All right, When the Levee Breaks. So pretty sure I watched a video on Drumeo of somebody learning this or coming up with their own drum parts or something. So I'm sure this is going to be familiar. This is a slide guitar, right? Or harmonica. Yeah, this sounds very Mississippi River Valley. This is what I would call river blues. That's cool.
If it keeps on raining, Levee's gonna break. If it keeps on raining, Levee's going to break. When the levee breaks, have no place to stay.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Need old Levee, taught me to weep and moan. Need old Levee, taught me to weep and moan. It's got what it takes to make a mountain man leave his home.
A long song. Blow that harmonica, son. Think about river blues for me, having grown up near the Mississippi River. I'm very familiar with river blues. For me, I don't mind seeing some live river blues. Listening to river blues not in a live setting is a little bit torturous for me. Like polka, because I come from a part of the river where it's very German immigrant oriented. A lot of the people in towns and stuff have German names. It's built from German immigration. Yeah, I don't mind hearing polka if it's live. Sitting down and listening to polka on record though. Saw some great live blues acts in the River Valley, though. Okay, well, I'm going to listen to this for a week. My initial impression is I don't like this nearly as much as Led Zeppelin 2. I mean, Black Dog, it's just like with Master of Reality. My two favorite Black Sabbath songs are on that album. But the album just isn't as strong as the two before, as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, this has got Black Dog on it. That's really the only song. I mean, rock and roll's good, but Black Dog is the only one that I love. Everything else on here. So I anticipate I may have a rating that might prove a little controversial. We'll see. I'm going to live with it for a week, and then I'll make my final choice. Okay. See you in a little bit. All right. Not to be a center of pestilence or anything of the sort, I've continued to listen to Led Zeppelin 4, as well as revisiting Led Zeppelin 2 and watching a bunch of live performances during this last week. I don't love this album. This is not my favorite Led Zeppelin album. Led Zeppelin 2, I just think it's a better album. I know Led Zeppelin 4 is iconic. It does have my favorite Led Zeppelin song on it in Black Dog. But like I said with Master of Reality, sometimes an album will have my favorite song, but not be my favorite album from a band. That's the case here. I think it is interesting, and you can look in my video notes description section to see how I would rank each song. I think it's notable and interesting that my 4 favorite songs on this album are all the ones that John Paul Jones had songwriting credit on. Black Dog's my favorite. Rock and Roll and Misty Mountain Hop are my next 2 favorites. And then When the Levee Breaks. I don't love that song, but there's some interesting stuff going on in there, and it would be my next favorite of the bunch. Sorry, Battle of Evermore and Stairway to Heaven. Those just aren't my thing. So, how am I going to rank this overall? Well, B tier. It's pretty good. I'll listen to it on occasion, but it's just not my thing. So if you are a huge fan of Led Zeppelin and you think they can do no wrong, I humbly apologize that I don't share your view on Led Zeppelin. I have no plans on revisiting any other Led Zeppelin in this journey. I only included this one because it was included on a list by Screen Rant. So take that grain of salt as far as source material goes. Whomever the writer was for that particular Screen Rant article said that this is one of the top 10 most important albums from the 70s for heavy metal. Just not my particular favorite. There's other albums on that list that I will be looking at as time goes on that I'm actually very looking forward to. This one, just great musicianship. I think, and I'm going to be controversial here. Feel free to debate or with me, or share your opinion on this in the comments. I think comparing Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin has several. Their rhythm section is S tier. John Bonham and John Paul Jones, I think, are one of the best rhythm sections of all time. Jimmy Page is iconic. Robert Plant's iconic. I prefer Ian Gillan from Deep Purple over Robert Plant as a vocalist. Just personal preference there. Not saying one's better than the other. I just like Deep Purple's vocals better. I think guitar-wise, John Paul Jones and Ritchie Blackmore both do really amazing things and are extremely innovative. I think where Deep Purple really takes the cake for me is in their songwriting. Plus they have John Lord. Keyboards aren't really my thing, but John Lord, I mean, if I have to listen to keyboards, as of right now, John Lord is my preference on what kind of keyboards to listen to. I find him much more interesting than just about any other keyboard player that I can think of offhand. But their songwriting just seems, I don't know, more to my liking. So next week, Blue Oyster Cult. Obviously, I've heard some Blue Oyster Cult. I've never listened to this album. I don't know if I know anything from this album. This will be a brand new, fresh listen for me, and I am very much looking forward to it. So in the meantime, you have a great rest of your whatever, and I will hopefully see you next week. Ta-ta.